We are going to start working on long division, which in 6th grade Common Core is 6.NS.2. That is where you could have something as simple as a 4-digit number divided by a 2-digit number. Remember, we always practice using D, M, S, B, R. Following the DMSBR model, D means divide, M means multiply, S means subtract, B means bring down, and R means repeat or remainder, depending on if you've covered all the numbers in your dividend. Remember, the outside number is called your divisor. The inside number under the house is called your dividend. The answer that you get on top of the house is the queen or the quotient. That is the answer of your division problem. When you have a problem that you're dividing, let's say we start off with 5,732 divided by 13. I like to tell students to put the DMSBR right alongside their problem so they can cross it off as they go. If you don't know how many times 13 goes into 57, because we know it doesn't go into 5, you can always go over to this side and do a few practice problems to see if you can come close. As you can see, 13 times 4 is 52, so we put our 4 up in our quotient, and 52 is our multiplying. So we have divided 57 by 13 and got 4, and then we've multiplied 4 times 13 to get 52. Our next step would be to subtract. So we subtract 57 minus 52 and get 5. Our next step would be to bring down, and we'll bring down our 3 to get 53. We don't have to do any math anymore. We can just repeat this because we need to cover all the numbers in our dividend. To divide that again, we already did 13 times 4, which is 52, which is pretty much as close as we're going to get without going over. So we can add our 4 for our divide. 4 times 13 is 52, and we will subtract and get 1. Our subtraction is now done, and we still have a number in our dividend to bring down, which is 12. Once we bring that 2 down to make 12, we can repeat our steps and see, does 13 go into 12? Well, every number in our dividend must be covered, and if 13 does not go into 12, we can add a 0. 0 times 13 is 0, and we can subtract and get 12, which will be our remainder because there is nothing to bring down and no repeat. So the answer to this problem will be 440 and 12/13. Remembering, the remainder is your numerator, the divisor is your denominator, and your quotient is your whole number. Now why don't we have you try one? Let's try you dividing 8,724 by 32. Go ahead and do it on a piece of paper and pause this until you get it done, and then we'll check. Okay, I hope you remembered to put D, M, S, B, R over to the side, and you started off with divide. Dividing 8 by 32 doesn't work, so you have to go to 87 divided by 32, which will be 2. That is your divide. Now you can multiply 32 times 2 and get 64. There's your multiply. We now will subtract 87 minus 64. 7 minus 4 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. You always want to make sure after you subtract that your balance is nothing higher than your dividend. If it is, you could put it in another time. The next step is to bring down your 2. Now we have 32 going into 232. Off to the side, you could do a few practices to see if you can come close to the answer. 192 is pretty close. I would like to check one more, multiplying, and I think that 224 would be closer. So I'm going to say it goes in 7 more times because I'm repeating the division. Dividing 232 by 32, I say it's 7, and when I multiply, I get 224. Again, you need to subtract that. When you do, you cannot take 4 from 2. You can't because it's not large enough. So you need to borrow from the 3, making it a 2, and that will make your 2 a 12 that you can subtract 4 from and get 8. Bringing down is our next step after subtraction. We will bring down our 4 because we have to repeat our division now because not all of the numbers in our dividend have been covered. We still have to cover our 4. So 32 goes into 84 2 times, which is 64. When you subtract, you get 20. So the answer to this problem is 272 and 20 over 32. If the directions indicate that you need to reduce, remember you always need to reduce your fraction. Fractions never go unreduced. So to reduce our fraction of 20 over 32, you need to find the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor between 20 and 32 is 4. So when you divide 20 by 20 by 4, you get 5. When you divide 32 by 4, you get 8, and your whole number stays the same. So your final answer for this problem is 272 and 5/8. Compare that to your answer and see what you got. I hope this helps. Talk to you soon.